So to create the curb returns, we're going to expand network strings. So network strings are the following: curb returns, cul-de-sacs, knuckles, which are essentially widenings, and roundabouts. So these are always connected onto a road string. So you can't create one of these without having a road string first. And inevitably with curb returns, you need to ensure that you've got a road string connected to another road string and ensure that there is available options to click on either side of the road. So to start off with, we're going to head to curb returns, and to begin the process of creating them, we right click and click on Create Edit Curb Return. We're then prompted to click on either side of the intersection where we want to have a curb return. So I'm simply going to click on here and go on the left hand side by left clicking here, and automatically the software will pop up with this curb return creation and editing form. So it will provide initially a curb name, which you are able to change if you want. This is going to create for us a Civil 3D alignment in the background using the Civil 3D styles, which we looked at the very start. The main road and the side road are basically listed for us. We then choose a template. Now, if you're using a template which matches between the two road strings, then we just use auto, because what auto will do is it will automatically connect the two codes between them. We then have the option of using the daylight slope, which we can apply and override any slope that we want. If we do not want any daylight, then we can actually check the omit button over here. The match code, and you can see the hover graphic helping us here, the match code determines how these two roads are connected up, and in this case it'll be using the ETW code. We're then prompted for the alignment geometry, and in this case we're simply going to be getting it to provide us with a 35-foot radius single arc between these two roads. All we do is we click Create Update. Now in the background, the software is automatically connecting these two roads together and applying the design. Now what we'll then do is click on Close, click on the opposite side. Maybe we'll make this one 40, Create Update, and then we'll click on Close. Now if we press Escape to finish, those Civil 3D alignments will have been created in the background, and then the string, which is a network string, will have been created over the top. If we head over to the tool space and expand curb returns, we can now see those curb returns. Now you may end up with many curb returns on a project, so the great thing is, as we hover over the curb return name, we get a highlight in the drawing, and if you want to find that particular curb return, you can right click, zoom to, and that takes you straight to the start of the alignment of that particular string, which is very helpful. If you wanted to make a change, say for example the radius on this side needs to be different, we can right click, edit curb return, and we're sent back to the same form where we can maybe go in and make a change. We'll make that 35 feet, create update. That change then happens to the model, and then we can click on Close. If we wanted to, and we will do this a little bit later on, we can actually create all the curb returns on the project in one go. When we right click on the curb returns, we can create brand new or edit an existing curb return, but if you actually right click on the curb return itself, you can then begin to access other tools, such as the vertical grading editor. So if we open up the vertical grading editor for this curb return, we'll then begin to have a look at how the software has connected the curb return between the two roads. To help us with this, we're actually going to open up the vertical design of Marin Street. So we're going to right click on Marin Street, vertical grading editor, and much the same way that we did with the intersections, we're going to start making adjustments to Marin Street to show you how the curb return operates. So we'll just get this into view. So you can see on my vertical grading editor here, as I move my mouse left and right, I've got that tracker to show me the direction of the curb return. So as we come out of the intersection here, 0 is always the chainage at the start, and as we come into the intersection, driving on the other side, 0 is always at the start here. So let's have a look at what's happening with regards to the vertical design. The software is automatically calculating the edge of travelway elevation and slope from the Sydney Court Road. It is then automatically picking up the elevation and slope, or the incoming or the outgoing elevations of slope of Marin Street. We're not able to edit these. These are reading the road. What is happening is the software is automatically connecting the incoming and outgoing grades of those particular road edges, and then connecting them together. So let's have a look at what happens if I change Marin Street here, just simply by moving the design up and down. You can see how that's automatically adjusting, and if those two instantaneous grades do not meet, it'll put a reverse curve in. If they do, it'll put in a single vertical curve for you. So as I move this design up and down, they are always going to be connected, meaning that I've always got a curve return design connecting those two roads together. If at any point you decide that you want to make an edit, so for example I go PI edit here, click near the IP, I can begin to make a change. So I decide, well, that needs to be exactly 27, so we'll click 27, click OK. What you'll find is a couple of things will have happened. In the vertical grading editor, the button that did say auto design now says user design, and some white circles will appear. What this means is that the user has now taken control of the vertical design, and we will no longer continue to update it. To show you what will happen if we move Marin up and down again, because we are now forcing that vertical curve to be a value of our choosing, the whole design in there is now under user control only, which means that I would have to go in and manually fix that. If you want to set it back to user auto design again, you can go user design, automatic, apply and exit. We'll then close the vertical grading editor,